This is the Weekly Savage.
Good night. This is the Weekly Savage. Welcome to our 2021 budget special. Before I continue, I have to mention the voice in the beginning. This voice.
This is the Weekly Savage.
Nice, right? CNN has nothing on us. That had to cost millions. Tonight, we dive in foot first because I'm in my 30s, so I'm more cautious. And we will give another useless opinion on last week's presentation. But first, we say sing in peace to a Calypso legend, Singing Sandra. We'll be paying little tributes to her throughout the show. We truly have lost a legend. Budget Day was fantastic. All the ministers sat there like the reading of a will, and you're wondering what grandma left you. Knowing after 2020, the best you can hope for is her teeth. Prime Minister Gaston Brown began the highly anticipated presentation. Mr. Speaker, blah, 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 blah. Our people remain undaunted. Mr. Prime Minister, I know you've been on social media. Our people are losing their damn minds. Our biggest problem won't be getting the vaccine. It's getting people to take it because of the craziness that has been normalized. I've even heard that some nurses don't want to take the vaccine because it's too soon. Wait, you're in the medical field and you don't keep up to date with the latest advances? I'm an artist, so I don't let a day go by without checking out at least a few, tasteful nudes. Mr. Brown continued and told the nation of how a pretty girl 2019 was. How she did the 3 C's: cook, clean, and wine on the cooler. She keeps the wine in the cooler. Get your minds out the gutter. But she left us with a little virus that left us wrecked. And now, a year later, we are desperately in need of a shot. Locally, a 22-year-old woman has been charged with receiving stolen property after being gifted an adult sex toy by her ex-boyfriend. Why is the ex-boyfriend giving her sex toys? Anyway, she was charged alongside her 25-year-old ex, who was also charged for stealing $9,000 in cash, jewelry, alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, phone accessories, adult toys, and male enhancement pills. Maybe that's why they broke up. First of all, to those 2 young people, thank you for your sacrifice. This is the kind of feel-good story we need at this tense time. It's a crime caper wrapped in romance. It's heartwarming. Imagine the end of Titanic and the old lady drops her vibrator into the sea. The government of Antigua lengthened the current curfew from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. after a spike in positive COVID tests. All jokes aside, we really need to follow the protocols, more than ever. March is going to make a year, and we are still getting arrested for violations. I want to be appointed as the COVID commissioner, so I could increase the penalty for social distancing by 1 hard slap. Meet my new Minister of Slaps. I mean, even our sister isle, the dear Republic of Barbuda, was not immune. After nearly a year, she now has 4 confirmed cases, which has forced the council to impose a 12 p.m. to 5 a.m. shutdown on their 10-person population. They even had to close all 2 of their schools. In related news, as Chinese authorities struggle to contain rising COVID-19 infections ahead of their Lunar New Year celebrations, Beijing has introduced anal swabs as a new type of coronavirus test. This, they say, can detect the virus more accurately. I believe the former Minister of Education, Michael Brown, put it best.
I am not the type of person to deal in backdoor settlements or backdoor arrangements.
China. if people weren't happy with the nostrils, I don't think that hole will be more popular. No wonder your eyes look like that. Guys, that sounds very xenophobic. I don't. Who put this in there? In any event, I believe there are a few persons locally who may enjoy this test. In regional news, hundreds of people held a protest in the streets of Martinique, Sac-Passé, demanding the authorities to permit carnival. The protest group, made up of hundreds of citizens, strolled the streets of Fort-de-France, accompanied by music and angry whiners. Martinique also has 6,402 COVID cases and 45 deaths. But who really cares, right? Because FET is life, and COVID comes from 5G. Internationally, a British national, 100-year-old Captain Sir Tom Moore, is hospitalized with COVID. We all trust and pray that he recovers fast. I mean, this guy has survived so many hardships, survived wars, polio, living in England, dial-up internet, so he must survive COVID-19. And finally, Dr. Fauci was released from the basement Trump locked him in over a year ago and has been appointed the chief medical advisor to now President Joe Biden. Knowing that the American president is listening to a respected expert with years of experience is refreshing, even though I really miss Dr. Emmanuel and her demon sex. Fauci has now recommended doubling your protection by wearing 2 masks. I tried the double protection thing, and yes, it's safer, but it just doesn't feel the same. I wonder if they have studded masks. We'll be right back.
Still you will know if these scams will hire you. Well, if it's all this humiliation to get a job these days as a woman, brother, they go keep their money, I go keep my honey and die with my dignity.
The social contract has been debated by philosophers for millennia, and the one thing they all agree on is they provide a valuable framework for harmony in society. The social contract takes many forms and will bend and twist in the winds of culture. They exist on all levels of society and can be unwritten, like don't fart on the elevator, or can be officially stated like a sign that says there will be no farting on the elevator. Our laws are a part of the social contract, but our culture and subcultures have also organically developed their own social contracts. No one had to invent puff, puff, pass. It came about organically. It spans from whining etiquette to murder laws. They have evolved in an environment that is greatly influenced by the advancements in the world around us. The relative peace, gross consumerism, alcohol, and soca. The Antigua we now stand in is very different to the one our parents grew up in. Our parents and grandparents drank pond water. Today, if a young person drinks pond water, it's probably a TikTok challenge. Without tourism, we wouldn't be the choice destination for immigration that we are. Trust me, nobody came here for our charming demeanor and welcoming attitude. We expect the most from our government and bitch every day about not having first world amenities in a third world country. But what we love to forget is we have a part to play. Every contract, social or otherwise, must have consideration, meaning something must be in it for both sides. You perform various tasks at your job, and in return, you get a salary and a deep hatred for your boss. So what do we as citizens give in return for getting to live in the Antigua and Barbuda? Well, we drive on the left, we wear clothes when leaving our homes, except for Carnival, a courtesy flush. It's the little things. One major thing is to pay our share. That's how the government staff is paid and services are offered, like national security, national health, roads, schools, and anything else for which government pays the bills. We all pay for that together. It's not the government, it's us. Yes, tourism brings in a lot of income to the island, but one of the ways some of that money gets into the government's coffers is through the taxes staff and vendors pay when they do things like shop. So if we're good citizens, good citizens, why are we belly aching about a tax that already is in existence? Do you want me to judge you by your intelligence and substance of your personality or by your silhouette challenge? Ladies, please don't stop doing the silhouette challenge. I'm sorry for bringing it up. You know where I'm going with this. The real highlight of the budget speech was the revelation that a 15% sales tax will be applied to online purchases at the point of sale. The Antigua internet its pants, cried and stomped their feet, and we heard how wicked Gaston is for trying to collect a tax that was already on the books. But I expected that. During the UPP's administration, an income tax was introduced which only affected people earning above $3,000, and people who didn't even qualify for the tax were complaining. I guess you didn't bother to ask for that raise because you didn't want to pay the taxes. According to the IMF, Antigua and Grenada bear the lowest tax burden in the OECS, and we are still complaining about a tax that we should already be paying. But this is about more than taxes. It's about us as a people never wanting to do our part. A lot of things we think are rights are actually the privilege of living on an island that is way bigger than its size. We are a Chihuahua trying to jump a Great Dane. And surprisingly, we have had some ugly puppies. But we are still a little dog, so each need to pay our share. And there's another side of the story that is sure to please store owners. It's not much, but it will help to level the playing field. The taxes charged by local merchants that are already at a huge disadvantage is bypassed when you order online. Sure, you might pay American taxes, but you don't pay Antiguan taxes. Well, guess what? Gaston is coming through like Big Worm in Friday. We need our money. I'm not going to be long this week, but there is one more thing I just wanted to mention. This instant no to taxes just shows how selfish we are. Or in truth, we're not selfish enough. Ladies, tell your man he is not selfish with a loving face and watch his brain melt down in confusion. If you're really selfish, you think bigger. Ask yourself what kind of country would be best for me and my family to live in. A country where we have nothing or a country where we have taxes? A country with a fairly decent standard of living or a country without taxes? You can't have both. I know the debate will continue and a lot of us will be big mad and cuss. Okay, Patriot. And when they run out of excuses, they will fling the old reliable, well, government will just thieve the money. Well, that's just terrible. Tell you what, just bring the evidence and we arrest them today. That's just what I thought. We'll be right back.
Break to look out the window, to hear voices from the ghetto. Crying, 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 Lord, Lord, crying, crying, voices from the ghetto.
If you're looking for something to do this Valentine's, check out Conduit Signature Tours. You can find them on Facebook. There are always specials available, and there would be an extra special service this Valentine's. It's a great way to social distance, and they always have very beautiful tours. Check them out. That's Conduit Signature Tours on Facebook, and you can book directly on Facebook. In light of our COVID situation, one of the ways to fight the pandemic is to stay in good health and build the immune system. One way to do that is to eat well and exercise a lot, which brings us to Iron Basics Gym. Let's get back to basics with Iron Basics Gym. You come, you get your workout in the hardcore way, and you leave satisfied. Iron Basics Gym. Let's get back to basics. This was the Weekly Savage. You guys have a great weekend.